Oh, did you know that your desktop audio was coming through, Brick? Whoops. Hope you didn't say anything super inflammatory. That's like a 5-second delay on that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Anyways, um, Brick, I don't know about you, but I feel like Mark almost had a heart attack when Instagram went down earlier this week.
I almost lost it.
Mark had a bad week. He got chopped from the Guillotine League, and Instagram and Facebook went down.
Are we still talking about the
Snap.
Guillotine League?
Well, he wasn't here last week when you actually got chopped, so it's been 2 weeks. This is his first episode back with you having been chopped after talking so much shit. Just like the most ridiculous amount of shit.
I'm in first place.
Yeah, seriously. He's like, I have the best team. I'm in first. I'm going to win this league. And then he immediately gets chopped.
All right. Well, it's good for you guys because I did have one of the better teams, and
It
you guys
doesn't
all got
matter.
Cooper
That's
Kupp.
the point. The entire point is one shitty week sinks your entire season.
I understand, and I regret not making moves and not spending the money I should have spent. Now that I know that, I'm going to be undefeated. Undefeated next year, dude.
Do you think, Brick, that he gets chopped in the first week next year?
It's a high possibility. I mean, come on, Mark. Let's be honest for a second.
First of
You
all, that fucking
and fantasy
website
football.
sucks.
Oh, please.
I cannot-
That's why you got chopped.
I'm glad I can just pay you $25 and just be done with this whole league and this stupid website, logging in, having to figure out where the hell your team is, how to make changes, how to buy other teams that hit the waiver. It's so stupid. Or other players that hit the waiver. It's so stupid.
Someday, you will be able to admit when you were wrong. It's not today, obviously, but someday.
I had a bad week. I was telling you about this kind of league. You know, you can have one bad week and you're done.
I will fucking strangle you. You piece of shit. All right, seriously though, Instagram. What did you think was happening? Because I know you basically live on Instagram.
I was looking on Twitter and people were like, "How many people restarted their phone 4 times?" Because I almost
Man.
restarted my phone and then I'm like, "Hold on," and then I checked Facebook and I'm like, "Okay, it's not me," but I was close to like thinking it was just my phone. I did freak out a little bit. I'm like, "What is going on?"
I got some messages in the chat saying Brick's audio is a little bit loud, so we're gonna crank that down.
Yeah,
some.
I noticed that too.
You don't notice things.
I noticed that too. Let's just bring him down a little bit. Hey, Brick, say something real quick.
Good looks, peanut butter jelly.
I think that's better.
Appreciate you.
This is a learning
I want to
process.
see some of them. I want to see some of them parks that you're making. Actually, she just got Zoo Tycoon. I saw. She's apparently evolved past. What was it? Roller coaster? It wasn't. No, it's Zoo Planet. And what is it?
That
Theme?
was the first game that you got me to buy and then immediately abandoned.
Single player game. Get over it already. Good lord,
I
Mister
I don't
get over
things.
anything.
That's what I do. I hold on to them forever.
I would turn us up a little
I just
bit.
did.
Okay.
But also focus. I'm the producer here. I am the producer now.
I'm listening to our people in the chat. Right
I
now.
would. Okay. Anyways,
Maybe produce better.
I'm
Hey,
trying.
is that Smithers' only shirt? Wow. Pull the lever is basically telling you need to buy a new Death Save shirt. I agree. I'm waiting for a good sale though.
I don't wash shirts until I spill something on them, or they smell bad.
That's disgusting.
Not really. I mean, you wash like if you wear something for a couple hours, you wash it.
I don't spill shit on my shirt that often, so
Neither do I. That's why I don't need to wash them all that often.
that's disgusting. So
But they're not-
you go
they're not
3
dirty.
weeks with wearing a shirt
3
and
weeks. That's a bit of a stretch.
and just armpit sweat and BO and
I don't sweat that much. Like unless if I'm working out, don't get me wrong, all that shit gets washed immediately. But no, I'm not a super duper clean clothes guy.
you're that guy at the gym that doesn't realize deodorant exists.
That is absolutely
I
false. I
hate
wear
that.
deodorant every day.
Oh my god.
Most of those
I'm
people
not
are
a
the old
s-
people in our gym.
I'm not a super duper clean guy.
Clean
Clean clothes guy.
First of all, I'm infinitely cleaner than both of you combined. You disgusting fucks.
I shower twice a day.
I took 2
Just for
showers
the
this morning
lulz.
Why?
because I can.
Because two is
We live
better
in
than one.
America.
Looks like
You
you are
showered
the
twice this
dirtiest
morning because
guy
you
here.
could?
Because I'm not a disgusting degenerate like you.
I don't know.
right?
It kind of sounds like you did something that made you a disgusting degenerate and you needed to shower twice.
I feel like he showered and then he took a shit afterwards and was like, fuck this, I'm showering again.
I've been in that scenario.
Well, what are
I get
people's-
that.
Of course. Who hasn't?
Smithers literally
Liars.
never sweats. We heard it here first. Yes, that is right.
You guys are real bastards. You know what? This is a perfect lead-in to Wizard World next week. I just won't shower all weekend, and I'll fit right in.
You will. You will. You know
Most
what I
popular
discovered?
guy there.
It is very genetic. It's based on genetics, though, a lot of the times where you just have terrible BO. Because I was in the gym the other day, and there's this, I felt bad. There was like a 15-year-old kid, probably is just starting to wear deodorant or doesn't yet, and he just reeks. And then his dad walks over, and his dad smells like shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, your house is, it probably just smells like walking into a fart box.
I mean, you think that's genetic, but where do you think he learned his hygiene tactics from? They probably just don't ever shower.
Some people though, it's hard to prevent the smell of their BO. It's just overpowering.
It's like you and your Hobbit feet.
Mm-hmm. They're not that bad.
Don't put them up there, dude. We got to save that for the OnlyFans.
Can't believe you're letting me walk on your floors with these fucking gross, disgusting.
You truly are a disgusting human being. I don't want to hear any more about me not being clean. Anyways,
Brick,
Wizard
how's the
World.
new house?
It's getting there. Ashley's doing all the work, which is nice. But I'm helping. I'm the muscle, but she knows what she's doing. So
Sure, you're helping. What are you helping
yeah, we're
with?
about to get setting up my office is what I helped with.
It's all about me.
I moved a bunch. I moved all the heavy stuff, everything into the freaking house. So
Sure you did, bud. Proud of you.
Yep.
Is this the most adult
Thank you.
thing you've ever done?
I think so. Yeah, owning a home. Yeah, that's probably the most
What's the
adult
most
thing I've
adult
ever
thing you
done in
can
my
do?
entire life.
Is it like creating a will?
The most adult thing you can do for men, I would say, is when you have a house and you're just very hungover, but you still mow the lawn the next day.
A favorite of mine is to wake up real early and turn the sprinkler on and drink my coffee and watch the sprinkler go and just.
Oh damn, you are old, dude.
I'm a dad, man. It's what dads do. It's ingrained in you. You want to talk about something that's genetic? That's genetic. If your dad was an anal dickhead about the lawn, mowed every 3 days, edged perfectly, that's gonna be you.
I'm
Mowed
kind of
every
like
3 days?
Well, he would fertilize it every fucking 3 weeks. So it just grew like crazy, and he put in a sprinkler system, which I had to maintain. Anyways.
Let's talk about Wizard World.
Yes, please. Nobody wants to hear me talk about my lawn. Wizard World. So next Friday night, that is the 15th? 15th.
Probably.
8 p.m., the main stage at Wizard World. Somebody done fucked up. Because they're allowing us to go do a live show, and boy, that could not possibly go well. We've done on stage shows before.
We have.
They're letting Chuck get a show, and they get Chuck to give a +1, and we're the +1.
Pretty much. I mean, Chuck is like the actual consummate professional. He knows what he's doing. He got a PA. He got stage lights for all this shit. He knows what he's doing. We are literally just piggybacking.
He has that voice.
Yeah,
he has that voice too.
He's got the on-stage presence. He's got the voice. Chuck's the man. So
Chuck's the man.
It's gonna
check
be
him
a
out
good
at
time.
Chuckload of Comics.
I wish I could go just to see Chuck again because he's the man.
So we haven't been to a convention since C2E2, pretty much right before everything shut down.
Yeah.
What are you anticipating here?
I think it's a good like gradual walk into possible getting into C2E2 this year. It's a good starting point. Wizard World is not as big. And we'll see how it goes.
I'm slightly concerned.
A good benchmark is the word I'm looking for.
I think I'm a little bit worried that it's going to end up like sporting events now, where everybody's been cooped up in their house for so long, and obviously the Venn diagram doesn't overlap much between people who go to sporting events and people who go to comic book conventions. So what if there's just all-out nerd brawls?
Why would there be nerd brawls, though?
Let's say two people are fighting over a comic book that's somebody's selling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why are there brawls at stadiums?
I've never seen a brawl, though, at a comic convention. Maybe I'm wrong. Listeners, if you've seen a brawl, let me know.
I want to see
Interested
somebody
to hear.
pull out a foam sword and just try to go to town on somebody. I want actual, like, duels.
What about an actual sword?
I'm guessing they're not going to let that in?
Sometimes they do. if it's a prop.
No, they
Maybe
don't.
if it has like a somewhat dulled edge, but it's still kind of sharp. You never know.
A somewhat dulled edge, and they bring their own knife sharpening kit in there.
Yeah.
I'm just.
It's all part of the prop.
They bring in their own whetstone. Some dude in the bathroom. Jesus, Mark, can you handle any of the tech on this? If I'm gonna get shit on when something goes wrong, then so are you.
The lighting actually didn't change that much.
Yeah, well, then leave it off because that thing kind of sucks to have in your face. There are so many things that, unless you stream, like you don't know. You have to have a super bright. That's why Brick looks kind of off center because we don't have. Brick has moved and doesn't have proper lighting yet. Anyways, what I'm saying is my life is hard.
Wizard World, come see us though.
Yeah, what are you looking to buy next weekend?
Nothing. I'm not gonna buy.
Do you
anything.
not buy shit at conventions anymore?
No.
Usually, you're the eBay guy.
Yeah, for the most part, unless I really like if I'm gonna buy a comic book, it's fun searching for it. If it's around the price that I think I could get it for, off of, I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups or eBay or whatever resale market I'm looking at. I'll buy it if I like the person selling it. But I don't usually go to conventions looking to buy anything. Maybe a T-shirt. Usually it's T-shirts or some type of clothing.
It sucks buying like nerdy T-shirts online because you never know how they're gonna fit. You don't know what what brand of T-shirt that they buy and print on, and it's always super inconsistent, and that's a real pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I think.
Go ahead.
What about Funkos? Exclusive Funkos. You're always on the search for those, right?
Have you unpacked all yours yet? Have you was that the first thing that you packed and unpacked?
It's still packed actually. It's like the last thing we're gonna paint the walls and hang shelves up and shit.
You went on
I'll send some pictures.
You went on like a 1 month spree of just buying every one you could find.
I know. It was such a whoopsie. I accidentally bought a Spider-Man gingerbread Funko that's gonna deliver like later.
That is the most random shit I've ever heard.
Like Spider-Man is
Super
a gingerbread
random.
man?
Yeah, Spider-Man is a gingerbread man. I wanted it for Christmas. Little Marvel Christmas dude.
All right, fine. I've actually been looking for a Krusty the Clown Funko, but apparently they're ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have a licensing deal with The Simpsons. That probably changed when Disney bought them. I'm sure that you've seen this because you've been to conventions, but the Simpsons action figures, you know what I'm talking about? Like they'll have little setups and interchangeable like hands and shit.
Yeah.
So my parents are retired and they go to flea markets and shit all the time. And I'm like, if you see any of these, just buy them. Because it'll be somebody old whose kid bought it, left it at their house. They're like, I got to get this shit out of here. And they're selling them for like $3 a pop.
Yeah. Aren't they back in production though? They're still making these things, right? Or making
It's kind of like Funkos where like they go through production runs, like series of them. But yeah, some of them are actually selling for $500-$600.
I know First Aid in Chicago, First Aid Comics. Shout out Elise, who used to work there. They have a shit ton of those. Of like,
that's not the place to buy them though. You got to buy them from somebody who doesn't know what they have.
Yeah, but then usually they're not in that good of condition.
I don't care. I'm not buying them. Like I need to fill up my office at work now, so that it's not a depressing hellhole. I mean, it's still a depressing hellhole.
You need a whole diorama of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Did they do it where like you have to buy each individual one, but then there's like a stage or a background where you like piece together the house or something?
Yes, and they did that with those X-Men toys forever.
They do it with everything.
They sell like one big arm with like a group of X-Men, and you have to buy 30 different things to put together the huge Sentinel and shit like that. So I think I'll keep my eyes peeled for some cool stuff. I got a Chief Wiggum and a Martin Prince, and like it's cool to have those, but obviously you got to build out the set. You can't just show up with Chief Wiggum and Martin Prince.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Obviously.
It's not the same.
So 2 things here. I looked up the Funko for Krusty. I'm just kind of I was curious how much they were going for. They have one going for $377, another one going for $700.
Damn.
But there is a Krusty Vampire Funko for like $20.
I actually kind of like that. Treehouse of Horror. It's perfect spooky season.
Yeah.
We got a big
they
month.
got that one. They got Marge as like a witch. They got Devil Lisa. They got Bart as like a Bart the Raven.
Oh,
I'll send you the
all-time
link in
episode
the.
when they went through
I'll
the
send you
entire
a link in
Edgar
there.
Allan Poe. Anyways, shit, I just completely lost my train of thought. We have a big month.
Trailers.
No, because not only are we going to Wizard World next week, Brick, I'm making Mark go to Lambeau Field the week after that.
Oh, shit.
Awesome. I've been to Lambeau before.
It's beautiful.
Actually, it's a very cool town.
I'm really hoping that the weather holds, because if we have a day like this, it's going to be a fucking drunken debacle.
You think Packers will still be first in the NFC by then?
In the NFC North?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't really know who's going to topple them.
Their schedule is not looking good.
Well, the Bears and Packers play next weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but at least you don't have to deal with Andy Dalton anymore.
That's true.
That was Matt Nagy is probably one of the worst 3 coaches in the NFL.
Do you think,
it's not great.
Brick, what do you think about this? Do you think like the front office was like, yo, there's so much backlash, you can't do that. Like, you need to put in Fields. Do you think he was really?
I
set
saw
on,
an
like, Andy
article.
Dalton?
I saw an article saying that the higher ups were the ones who were pressuring Nagy to actually start Fields. But
wait, you
who
mean the
knows
people
what
who
the hell?
own the team
Internet's the
want to
internet.
win?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just like, at least they changed up the play calling enough to keep Justin Fields upright for a while. It's like, I don't know. But it is against the Lions, who are absolutely pathetic. So it's like, grain of salt. It is what it is. But I'm so pumped to see him.
Anyways,
They need to
Lambeau
incorporate
Field's
Allen
gonna
Robinson
be good
more.
ass time. You got to try the cheese.
What game
curds.
you guys going to? You guys going to the Bears game?
No, it's Bears is next weekend when we're at Wizard World. Week after that, they're playing Washington, the football team.
Oh, okay.
The football team.
They're playing
team.
a football game against the football team.
I went to the Packers Bengals game, which they play this week, oddly enough.
Hmm.
It was great. I love Lambeau. Lambeau Field's it's a cool stadium. Did you guys talk about the Bears potentially signing with Arlington Heights?
That's going to happen.
I think
I
that
don't
is
think
gonna
it's even
happen.
close. It doesn't make sense for them to stay in the city. Nobody is going to be mad if they leave the city because Soldier Field is the worst stadium in football, and it's not particularly close.
Chicago overall,
Yeah.
I mean, we have some great historical stadiums, but we don't have like good stadiums to where we can host shit. We're not ever gonna have the Super Bowl because it's Chicago. You're not.
You
gonna
would
have
if it was in Arlington Heights.
if you had a dome. Yes.
Yes, and they
If
will
they have a
build.
dome.
They will build a place with a retractable roof. They will build up the infrastructure so everybody can get there. There'll be plenty of places to stay.
Yeah.
I
There's
think
so
that's
much
absolutely what they're
land.
going for.
Chicagoland area
There's
just needs
so-
a mega stadium because Wrigley Field's not it. Historical, yes. Beautiful, great. Sox Park.
Nobody wants.
Yeah,
to go
they
there.
moved it a block from where Comiskey was. It's still not anything to fucking brag about. And what we have where the Fire plays, that fucking stadium sucks.
That's
we don't
in
have
Bridgeport. That's
Yeah.
basically like going to Arlington Heights.
Yeah, we don't
It's
have
not that far, but-
anything special.
United Center.
United Center is fine. It's better than
But
the old
they're-
Chicago Stadium was, but
Exactly. But they're gonna build up that entire area like Wrigleyville
Yeah.
did, with all the new businesses and like really nice stadium. They're gonna make it a Bears land, basically, which I'm in for.
and not so. I've been on kind of the business side of this because the last thing I want is for them to build a stadium with my tax money. Like fucking fund it and pay for it yourself, you dickbags, you're billionaires.
Nope, make Smithers pay for it.
Well, then your family's gonna have to pay for it too.
Yeah, but they're like right outside Arlington Heights. I guarantee all their property values just skyrocket.
I mean, I'm 20 minutes away, so it's not that bad. Anyways,
No,
apparently
exactly.
the
Your
breaking
property
point
values
is because they were negotiating. The mayor was negotiating with the Bears ownership, and they said that they would not allow them to put in a sports book, which that tells you just how much money they think they can make off of a sports book, because that's enough to get them to go out and build a new stadium.
Right.
Brutal.
Yeah. No, I thought. Yeah, they were gonna like allow. They were gonna allow like the city to get a cut of the sports book, and even then they were like, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Anyways, the Bears will still stink.
News to us. Boop.
There's your trailers drop. Mark, we got a short clip from Peacemaker this week, shared by James Gunn on Thursday. I assume you watched this.
Yeah, you kind of feel bad for Peacemaker. They're just fucking gunning on him the whole time.
It kind of seems like he's just going to snap and kill them all.
Mm.
Wouldn't that be kind of the Peacemaker thing to do?
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I'm looking forward though to this series overall. I think it's going to be good. I like John Cena.
I feel as though this is kind of their answer to a Deadpool style character. Because John Cena,
Interesting.
he's definitely not as wacky, but he's completely self-unaware. He's funny without really trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's like combining Deadpool and Drax because he's very literal and very like,
stoic.
yeah, he has one goal and it's Peacemaker, making peace, and no matter how he can get it, he's just like got that narrow focus.
I don't care how many people I have to kill to make peace. That's an all-time.
Yeah.
So, Brick, you're in on this.
Oh, absolutely. I was actually like hooked. That what was a 1-minute teaser. You just Eagley, like it's my pet eagle, Eagley. It's just so stupid, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I completely forgot about Eagley.
Yeah, you need
Also,
to
the
watch
fact that he
trailer.
just fucking drives around with him in the backseat of his car. Oh,
stupid.
Yeah, so dumb.
It's great that they're going to be doing this for a while. I feel like with superhero movies where they're going to take these really obsolete, quirky, weird characters and taking their little. There's just so much fucking absurd shit they used to do with superheroes back in the 90s, and they're going to start incorporating them into these movies and just making
There's
fun of
some
them.
nuanced comedy that they
Yeah.
can definitely extrapolate from some of the weird situations that they can get themselves into.
I hope they bring in Snowflame, which was they just brought him back. He was in a Catwoman run. I think he was a Batman villain, but this guy was created in the 80s, and all he gets powers from ripping lines of cocaine. Just like
I mean,
Amazing.
DC's kind of going down that path with a bunch of murderous assholes, right?
Snowflame.
Snow.
You team up with HBO long enough, you'll start to get that gory side of things.
What the
going.
fuck were comic book writers doing in the 80s?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
All right. Asked and answered.
They were doing.
What
Right,
if
this
one
is,
of our guys got superpowers from cocaine? Sick, dude. Write it down.
They're like,
Amazing. Let's do
All right, I
it.
got a fucking idea.
You rip my shirt.
Yeah.
Nick Cage callback. All right, Brick, this is much more your purview. House of the Dragon.
Wom, 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 wom.
This trailer made me realize that I hate Matt Smith's face.
It was he, the guy from
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Yes.
Yeah, except he's blonde in this,
Yeah.
and his hair's pulled back so you can see all of it.
Oh,
He's
God.
not a good-looking man.
There was.
He has like a big forehead and like really squinty eyes. But that I like that as like a. I guess he might be the antagonist or protagonist. You never
He's
know. He looks
Rhaegon.
like he's got an
probably one or
evil
the
side.
other.
No, Rhaegon's.
Or-
This is 200 years in the past. So
Fuck. I read through all of this, and I can't remember all their stupid names because they all sound the same. I'm still not over
Aegon.
the
Reynard,
ending.
Raylor,
Sure.
Redardavis.
Yes. It's probably Redardavis.
Redardavis. Yep.
I'm not over how bad
I'm
the
in.
ending was, so I'm still very skeptical about this.
So the only reason that was bad was because they rushed it. The last 2 seasons were 7 episodes and 6 episodes, and like most of them, all the other seasons prior were 10 episodes. So I feel like they just rushed everything at the very end to be like, all right, we got it done with. Now we can go on to the 4 other spinoffs that we want to do.
So, but why would you think that they treat this any differently?
Because they are the ones that are like, I think they actually, this is based off a book, right?
Yes.
So now they can go back to the source material and pretty much get from George R.R. Martin rather than making it up themselves.
But do you agree that part of why the show was interesting towards the end is that they went off book? So nobody knew what was going to happen. They had to write their own stories because George R.R. Martin is never going to finish this next fucking book.
Yeah, no, that's a bummer and a pessimist attitude. But yeah, I hate to say I agree with you, but yeah.
He's been saying he's going to finish it for 10 years.
Yeah, but you're saying that
I know.
from the perspective of reading the books. There are a lot of people that watch that show that have not read the book, so they didn't know the difference of what was
sure.
canon and what wasn't.
You could Wikipedia it, though.
True.
Yeah. I don't. It was rushed.
But a lot of people aren't doing it. But it was, it was just rushed. But you can see the writing on the wall with Daenerys. Like, with some of the shit that she does that she could easily turn at any second.
Of course, leave it to Brick to defend Game of Thrones. You're the only person on the planet who still would. You and David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Well, this was the first time I've rewatched it since it concluded, and I didn't rewatch it all the way up to season 8. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, season 7 ended 2 years ago. Now let's just go into season 8 and see what happens. Now I'm rewatching the whole thing in its entirety. I have 2 episodes left, but
You should probably turn it off at Battle of the Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards is great, but
Are-
that actually probably would be a good ending point.
Are they going to take?
There's
the
so much
spin-off?
intrigue and hype at that point.
Are they just doing this one season for the spinoff for now, or have they announced that there's going to be like 2-3 seasons already for this? Are they like, okay, we're going to take a chance with this, see if people like it, and then we'll decide?
I can't tell because they have announced so many spin-offs and background stories and prequels and everything else. I have no fucking idea what they're planning.
I forget where I heard it, but I heard that they were limited the dragon budget for this. I think that might be to see how it turns out.
Isn't
how
this
it plays,
supposed to be?
how people
That's the dumbest fucking. This is supposed to be the Age of Dragons.
Isn't
exactly.
the last line
That's
of
why
this,
it's worrisome.
the last line of the teaser is like, we wait, what did he say? We became kings because of dragons or something.
Literally, yeah, that's what they said.
This is already
didn't-
stupid.
There better
Skip
be
it.
fucking dragons.
I'm in for it. Let's go.
Mark, I feel like you've been quiet on this. In or out?
I'm meh.
I'm gonna count that.
Oh,
I'm
as
gonna
out.
still watch it though. It's Game of Thrones on
I
HBO.
know. I'm gonna fucking
Obviously.
watch it too. It'll be on Sunday, not on HBO, and that's always the best thing on TV.
Shout out Elise. She also rewatched it and said it's much better after a rewatch too. Dope.
So because she agrees with you this one time, then she's right.
She is right.
All right, fair enough.
We're the ones who both rewatched it. You guys both did not.
Yeah,
Just
'cause
have
it
that bad
sucked.
lingering taste off of your tongue.
I tend not to rewatch things that suck. All right. Last
I don't have
trailer.
an example.
Speaking of things that suck, Resident Evil looks fucking awful.
This is Outer Banks mixed with what's a terrible movie like this?
Outer Banks had a higher budget than this did. Did you see how bad the CGI
This is
looks?
like The Purge mixed with Outer Banks. It gives me some Purge vibes, but the cast is like these weird teenagers, but they're really 35 years old kind of thing going on.
So apparently this is going to cover the plot of the first 2 Resident Evil games. And I could never keep them all straight, kind of like a Bond movie.
Neither could I.
Um,
Raccoon City.
Yeah. So I don't know. Can you redeem this at all, Brick?
I've never really enjoyed any of the Resident Evil movies.
Too spooky?
So yep, too scary for me. The games are actually super scary, but they get you on those jump scares way too often. But the movies just never did it for me. I don't know why.
I liked the first one, and then the one that they did in Vegas in the desert was decent. But only because Mila Jovovich was out there just chopping motherfuckers' heads off.
The only one I liked is that hallway with the lasers, and
That's
then
the first one.
they dodged the lasers a couple times, and then the laser just became a grid.
And they're like,
"Oh!"
that was Michelle Rodriguez. She got chopped into little cubes, right?
That's when CGI was like they were
Whoa.
kind of testing out CGI, and it was like the guy got chopped into cubes. Like, oh my god.
You know what? I don't know why this reminded me of that. I saw somebody posting about, because you used to think when you first played a brand new video game when you were a kid on like N64, the graphics were incredible. But now if you look back at it, obviously in comparison, it's shitty. But I think that part of that is, and it was a side-by-side of 2 pictures from Final Fantasy like 7 or 9. And it was on an LED screen, like an OLED screen like we would use today, and then versus a CRT like the old tube TVs.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked a million times better.
The old game on the LED screen.
No, the old game on the old TV looked
the old
so
game.
much better.
Okay.
So maybe
it was
we weren't
made
as
for it,
crazy
yeah.
as we thought that they were, but I mean, who goes back and plugs in an old tube TV and figures that out?
So we're thinking that the newer TVs don't process old shitty games as well.
Yeah,
Like you need a shitty visual. You need a shitty screen to go with a shitty game.
Honestly, I think it's just because you don't have the individual pixels and they blur together better, so
Yeah.
it's not as blocky.
I could see that.
I don't know. That's a weird digression, but
That actually makes sense.
it's kind of what we do here. I didn't recognize anybody from this trailer in terms of actors. They really hit hard on the trailer too, like only in theaters. Like that's supposed to be some kind of selling point. I would probably be much more likely to watch this if it was on HBO Max or something.
The big gorilla dude
What
from
about that-
Umbrella Academy is in this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good arc
I
in the
didn't
second
notice him
season,
in
and I
there.
feel like it kind of unlocked some of his acting.
He was in
So
Game of
maybe-
Thrones.
Maybe that'll
Yeah.
be good.
He was in Game of Thrones too.
I did not know that.
Dickon.
Oh, God, it was
Sam-
Dick on. Oh, my God.
Who's Dick?
Dickon. He was
What-
Dickon, dude.
That's some good memory there, Brick. I appreciate that. All right, let's do some recommendations.
Just rewatching it.
Here's some money. Go see a Star War.
Brick, I'm going to let
Well,
you
they
go
also
first.
ha-
What have you been doing?
Battlefield 2042 is in beta. It's actually, by the time you listen to this, it's actually going to be over. But it comes out next month. I played it, and the graphics on it are amazing, as you were saying 2 seconds ago. Every new game we play, the graphics are always just better and better.
Gotta
And this one, I don't know what it is, but the fucking forestry and all like the bushes and trees and everything that they have on this map that you're playing Conquest on is like crazy. It's so well done and well designed, and you can use it to your advantage. And it's just like, I think they made this game different enough from previous iterations of Battlefield that you can really kind of see like the next gen in this version of it too. You get to, for us, you also get to, I think the big difference maker is there's a grapple in it. Grapples are always fun. I think they added that in Halo as well. But the other part is if you press, there's a button that you can actually change your attachments to your gun just like anytime you want. And there's like 3 different options for scopes, 3 different options for like ammunition, 3 different options for, like holding your gun or getting more ammo, like stocks and stuff like that. And then you can just like change it on the fly.
Stomp.
So it's just like pretty intuitive, and it feels good, looks great.
What kind of gun you been using, primarily?
They
Have you
have
been
like
sniping? Do they
bas-
still have a huge drop effect with the sniping? I remember that was
Yeah.
a big difference with Battlefield and Call of Duty. Is Call of Duty did have drops depending on how far you were, but Battlefield you really had to kind of lay out
Yeah,
how
the
you're
bullet
going to
drop.
drop the bullet on someone.
Yeah, bullet drop and leading are pretty important when it comes to the Battlefield kind of technical side of things of killing. But yeah, they still got that, and the maps are huge. All maps feel gigantic. So I'm excited to get back to those operation modes where they kind of condense the battle to 2 different points, then you unlock the map further and further. It just isn't as chaotic as like Conquest usually is.
I've heard nothing but bad things about the new Battlefield.
Really?
Yeah. Just
From
in
who?
comparison to other shooters, and yeah. I mean, it's good that you've always loved Battlefield games, though.
I'm a Battlefield stan, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not going to play this, but that doesn't mean anybody else shouldn't like it. You know that that new Far Cry game with Giancarlo Esposito came out.
My buddy just bought it.
Any good?
I think he's a huge TJ. He loves Far Cry.
I love Far Cry
games.
too. He actually got that for me because he was like, "Yo, I'm looking for a game to play," and I was like, "Try this."
He hasn't said it was one of the worst ones that he's played. I think he played the one with the Colt. I don't think he played. I think the worst one that people say is the one when you're like in the Ice Age kind of, you like shoot
Primal?
saber-tooths and shit.
Yeah, I didn't like that one too much, but
I'm sure it's good.
the Cult one was great.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. And there was a Fallout follow-up to that where like you were in the post-nuclear wasteland. Anyways, I'm gonna watch Muppets Haunted Mansion tonight
Oh, that's out.
because it came out yesterday, and I was flipping through Disney trying to figure out what I needed, and that's what I need. It looks fucking incredible. Will Arnett is this host, and the Muppets have to stay overnight in this mansion.
That's cool.
And there's something like if they don't survive, then they're cursed to stay there for the rest of time, which is kind of heavy for Muppets movie. But I guess it's pretty heavily based on the actual Haunted Mansion ride,
Mm-hmm.
which I've never been on, so I can't really talk to it. But
I've been slowly switching the. We don't have Nolan watching too much TV, but he loves Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. but I've been slowly switching it up because I get fucking sick of it. I'm like, here, try something different.
You get tired of the hot dog
The
dance?
Muppet Baby shorts are really good.
Okay. We were actually thinking about that because Eric and I were arguing
Yeah.
about Muppet Babies and who was the cutest.
Yeah,
But
those
it's
are good.
definitely it's definitely Rolf. Also, Eric and I started watching Only Murders in the Building. It's been out for a little while now. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. They live in this like historical big apartment building in New York with other famous rich people, I guess, like Sting's in it for some reason. And but somebody gets murdered in their building, and they decide that they're going to start a podcast. And they all obviously come from these weird different backgrounds. It's kind of crazy. It's very funny, kind of dry. Steve Martin humor. That's really the best way I can describe it.
What is it on?
Hulu. And they're actually dropping it episodes every week. So I think there's like 6 episodes or something out like right now.
It's a show about people podcasting.
Yes. I mean, it's a scripted show about them investigating a murder and trying to do like a serial style show.
Oh, okay. All right.
They even
Gotcha.
bring in the piano intro and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's funny. It's definitely worth a watch.
It makes more sense. Yeah. Nice. I've been still watching a shit ton of Anthony Bourdain, no reservations. I think I'm on season 3 now. He has like 9 seasons. I'm trying to read more. So I'm reading Kitchen Confidential, which was his first big New York Times bestseller. It's really fucking good. Even if you're not into all the food shows and things like that, just getting a look into like how he got into food and all these trips. He was living in Italy and working in Italy and would go to these restaurants with his parents, and he started trying all these bizarre foods just to get a kick out of his parents' reactions. And he had a little brother, and his little brother would look up to him, things like that. But seeing like how his life progressed and to where he got to be this big chef in New York and ended up writing this book. It's a cool look into that. So if you're into Anthony Bourdain, or even not, if you just want to kind of see what he's about or was about, I would recommend checking this out. And I think HBO is coming out with a new documentary as well on him, which is supposed to be pretty good because I saw reviews, but I know they didn't release it yet. But it should be free on streaming soon.
How many times does he mention heroin?
Not that much. I don't think it was like that long of a period where he was just addicted to heroin. Like he was always he had this really addictive personality. Like he'd wake up, the first thing he'd do is light a cigarette and start writing. So he smoked for forever, and then he got into jujitsu and completely went cold turkey on a lot of stuff. But he had this really obsessive, addictive personality, which he knew he had.
Man, can't imagine being like that.
But yeah, he did do heroin. I don't know how much though. I haven't gotten to that part of the book, if it's in the book yet.
I'm guessing he didn't measure it out and relay that anyways.
But
so.
You also get a look into like chefs and what it's like being in the kitchen. They were doing drugs and just the.
Have you met like line chefs? They all do blow.
The vocabulary they would use is just, oh my god.
They all do blow, and they all chain smoke.
Yeah,
every one of them.
There's some insane stories in this book. I recommend checking it out. It's good.
I'm not done with Squid Games yet either, but I do want to throw this out
Neither
there.
am I.
If you're trying to get into it, the best way to watch it is on your phone on the train at 1.5 times speed.
Okay.
And I know that I say that about a lot of stuff. It's just that the dialogue does not translate very well from Korean. So you kind of just need to get the point and not need to worry about the actual words. Just like, what are you trying to convey? All right, let's move on to the next thing that's going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll just drop that in. And Brick, do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, no, that is perfectly clear. Yeah,
Because
It's
I
good way
still
of
want to
putting
know
it.
what happens.
In other
Right.
words, are you guys just getting bored with it? Sounds like.
No, because I still really
I
want to
haven't
know what
continued
happens. There's a
watching it.
lot. There's side plots. There's a lot of cool shit going on. It's just the dialogue is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyways, time to draft, boys. All right, I once again smoked all of you.
it was a landslide.
You smoked opium?
Yes, that's what I said. I kicked the shit
I'm
out
pissed.
of you, and I understand that you're upset, so you're going to try and lash out. But
You know what? I thought I had a better draft than obviously our listeners thought I did. So
well, I would hope so.
what the fuck?
I mean, I would hope that you come in thinking that you drafted. Oh, hi, Remy.
I got to switch things up. I just got to start using Star Wars in every single draft.
What Smithers is doing.
That's not true, but
The
I
ones
also-
you've won, I'm pretty sure you used at least one Star Wars reference.
I'm sorry
One of
that
them was like
if it's a
Yoda.
good
One of them was
reference-
Han and Chewie. Another one was Stormtroopers. Yeah, you use that shit all the time.
Oh, hi.
But
Remy.
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick the draft order. Mark made a point last week that the winner probably shouldn't be able to pick first more than 1 week in a row. So I will go second.
That's fair.
Yeah, let's do that. First place cannot go for first the next week, but you can choose if you want second or third.
Okay, I'm still gonna pick the order. because
Yeah,
I
you
want-
should just pick the order.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
I will go
Right.
second. Brick, I'm going to let you go first. Mark, you'll go third.
Okay.
So
Fair.
this week, obviously, in honor of James Bond, we're bringing out some of the weirdest spy gadgets. Do you see Remy on screen right now?
That's
Dude,
amazing.
Remy.
it's like he knows exactly what's going on, and he's just like, I want to be in this too. God, what a doofus. He's just, oh, God.
As I thought he was going to try to like go under the tripod right there.
He probably will at some point. He'll spot some food or something. You're just so creepy. All right. Anyways, in honor of James Bond,
He's a creepazoid.
in honor of James Bond, we're doing the most questionable spy gadgets. So basically, the weirdest or most useless shit, I think is how you can describe that.
Rick, why don't you tell
Yeah.
us what it means?
They have to. Yeah, they have to be just in a movie or TV. Just a random spy gadget, weapon, whatever. That was like, all right. They just use that. Okay. All right. Questionable spy gadgets.
He's just staring at the camera. What is up with you, man?
This was my least favorite draft. I'll just start out by saying that, but I also don't think any of our picks are going to overlap this week.
I think I agree with you because there's a lot of weird shit out there,
Mhm.
and I kind of took this in a different direction. I don't know if that's going to pay off for me or not, but I've got a lead. I can have a bad week if I need to.
Okay. And to be clear, Brick, you did mention this, but this has to specifically be from either a TV show or a movie. Like it had
Yeah,
to have been used once.
Yeah, no books, no comic books, none of
Yeah.
that shit. So with that said,
Yeah.
Brick, you want to go ahead and kick it off?
I will start with random task from Austin Powers, who threw a shoe.
So the shoe is the gadget.
The shoe is the gadget.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Who throws
yeah,
a shoe?
because You probably
honestly.
can't pick a person and call it a gadget. That's a little weird.
But at the same time,
But I'm just trying to explain where it came from, the gadget when it was used.
Sure.
who threw the shoe? Because he didn't throw the shoe, so it wasn't technically a spy gadget. Someone just threw a shoe at him, right?
No.
Wasn't he
No,
like
random
Well,
task.
Random,
That's
random
shoe.
task is the guy who throws the shoe.
Oh, random. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the James Bond ripoff of Odd Job.
But at the same
Odd
time,
job.
Who threw the
Odd
hat?
hold on,
job.
we need to be
Random
clear on
task.
this. These are villains using their props.
You don't know that he's not a spy. He could be a spy.
Okay,
He could
I
be a
guess.
spy.
I think that's a bad pick, so I'm
I
gonna
think-
let him have it.
At the same time, I was trying to pick an Austin Powers one. If you guys pick this, whatever, but I was thinking of sharks with freaking laser beams. I didn't pick that
Lasers
because
on
they
there.
were actually never used. He never got the sharks with laser beams.
They were barracudas.
Yeah, but that's also not a gadget because that was a villain's.
I said
think that
weapon
if
or
it's
gadget.
used in a spy
I think
movie,
it's-
Okay, all right.
it's
whatever.
like spy versus spy, right?
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm overthinking.
Yeah.
it.
Anyways,
Whatever.
that's not the best
Yeah, no,
Austin Powers gadget.
that was
because
on my list. That was my list too.
I'm about to pick the
Oh.
best Austin Powers gadget. Brick, are you talking?
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
not.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead. If you take it, I'm gonna be pissed.
The Swedish-made penis enlarger
No!
pump. I don't know what else to say. That's just my bag, baby.
All right.
So, Mark, you
I'm
get
so
two
pissed
now.
that you took that one. I'm so pissed that you took that one because I thought that was gonna be the one. That was my
Why would you
fourth
go with
pick,
Why
but
would you go random task first? I'm never gonna pick a shoe.
The Swedish-made penis enlarger is such a fucking brilliant pick. I'm so pissed that you took that one. It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. Mark, you got two picks.
All right. I'm gonna change mine up since you guys all went Austin Powers. Mine were all pretty serious. They were just like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm gonna say the floss, toothbrush, and toothpaste in Austin Powers. That was just floss, toothpaste, and a toothbrush.
And Basil talked to him and was like,
Yeah. He's
Austin's
like, "What?
like, is this explosive?
Yes.
No, you just have really bad teeth, and you need to fix that.
Yes.
Okay. You got another one here.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna also say this is mouth hygiene related. The exploding bubblegum piece in Mission Impossible. The reason I picked this is because I'm very fidgety. If I had something that was going to explode in my pocket that is very easily,
Mixed. Yeah.
flexible. That I just think that's stupid as hell, is having this thing.
And if you think about that, like you're in the most high pressure situations. Yeah, you're definitely going to blow yourself up.
And if you guys remember the scene was actually really stupid because when Ian Hunt did use it, he took it out, he folded it, and he had a couple seconds. He threw it at the wall and it stuck. I guess it might have gotten wet, but that's not how gum works. Like, he threw it at the wall and it just stuck to it.
I mean, it's probably not chewable real gum.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
know, but
plastic
still.
explosive that you missed together.
It was a
also.
dry piece of gum that he just folded, and he threw it at he was eating dinner or something with this evil dude. And I think water flew up in the air, which is the reason they made it stick, but that's just not how it works. I just think the fucking whole piece of gum explosive thing is stupid.
Okay. All right. I guess this is coming back to me now. I have a lot of different directions I could go here, but I think I'm going to go with, specifically because I know this is going to piss Mark off. In Batman Begins, Batman is walking through a hallway. It's towards the climax of the movie, and he has to summon a shitload of bats. That would be fucking terrible. He presses a button on this little sonic thing, and bats just come flying out of everywhere. Just to obfuscate his, like, the people who could potentially see him, just use smoke, you dumbass. Then you're not getting pooped on the entire time. You're not going to get rabies from the bats that live in your basement. This is an all-time stupid Batman gadget.
Okay. But is it a spy gadget? It's a detective gadget. Detectives are not spies necessarily.
Do you want me to throw this one away and do a different one?
No, it's very stupid. Let's keep it.
Okay, fair enough.
Your
turn.
Let's keep it. So I have one from the movie Spy.
Who's that with?
It is
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Okay. So you know it's
and
going to be
Rose
bad.
Byrne, Jason Statham. So is chloroform described or disguised as hemorrhoid wipes?
Yeah, that's pretty
It's a bad
stupid. I'll
spy
give you
gadget.
that.
That one's bad.
Okay. I have nothing to add to that
I've
because
never
that
seen the
movie
movie.
sucked and this is stupid. Who's your second pick, Brick?
My second pick. Damn, I can't believe you took my Swedish made penis enlarger pick. It's such a good one. I think I am going to go with sharks with freaking lasers attached to their heads because that was on my list as well.
Okay, that is very stupid, and I'll tell you why it was stupid, even though I just told you why it was stupid 5 minutes ago. It was never used in the movie.
You never see.
He never got the sharks with
Sharks.
the lasers. He only got really aggressive sea bass. If you watch the movie, Brick.
So it has to be really aggressive sea bass.
Great pick. That is a fictional, imaginary puff of a cloud of something that never existed, Brick. That was never a gadget.
Whatever. That's fine.
All right, this is back to me. I need. No, I'm going to save that one for last. I'm going to go with Roger Moore's third nipple.
That's a good one. That was on my list.
So when he goes to meet
That was
Scaramanga in The
awesome.
Man with the Golden Gun, he's impersonating somebody else who has a famous, somehow, third nipple. So he has to have a prosthetic nipple right here, just on his pec, his lower pec there. And he, with that, fools Scaramanga he fools the high fat Mr. Fat, I think is, anyways, doesn't matter. He uses a prosthetic third nipple, and the response to that is basically, oh, that's a sign of genius and wealth. Which, yeah, I guess if I had a third nipple, I would want genius and wealth too, because that's weird.
Yeah, I guess it is pretty good though, because I was thinking, like, if someone saw a third nipple on you, that's like a big third nipple.
Nobody's going to question its validity.
I know, but at the same time, they would be so focused in on it. They'd just be like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's like the mole from Austin
So I feel like at the
Powers.
same time, it is questionable. They would question the nipple and wonder if it's real or not.
I don't think that they would, because if I saw somebody with a third nipple, I would not be like, yo, what's up with that nip, dude?
You might.
I
Depends on
might.
how drunk you are.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Mark, is this your last one?
No, I have two more.
No, my bad.
I'm gonna go. Oh, nice! I get to go 2 in a row. Okay, so my third is gonna be the silicone prosthetic masks that they use in Mission Impossible. Yes, they're sweet, like when they reveal themselves, but at the same time, you need like go through putting on this fucking thing, and you can't just. You have to make sure your body type is the same as whoever it is. I feel like
Put on a fat suit.
the potential for shit to go wrong with you wearing this stupid mask, like maybe the guy walks in, or yeah, maybe you just don't look
presumably
fat enough.
you've tied him up and put him in a closet somewhere.
Okay, but maybe you just your body. First of all, Ian Hunt is like 5'6".
Ethan Hunt. You keep calling him Ian.
Same shit. I don't know. I just think it's a lot. You can just be sneaky and not have to wear a stupid fucking mask.
Okay, I think that's a bad pick because that's a dope gadget, and spy life isn't super easy. Also, you know that, like Eddie Murphy when he was in the clumps, that he didn't just put on a bunch of weight. That was a suit.
I
You
know,
that, right?
But it sucks though. Like if I was a spy, I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that because I gotta.
No.
Not
if
only
you were
do
a
I
spy, you would do whatever the fuck you were told because
Not-
that's what spies do.
Not only do I have to wear this, I have to wear now a fucking 40-pound suit with it, or I have to shed weight to look like this person. I don't know. It's not worth it.
Okay, what is your final pick?
My final one is the fake crocodile head that was used in Octopussy 007.
The submarine.
Yeah. So, Brick, if you haven't seen this scene, is basically James Bond has this has a fake crocodile head with it's his actual head like in the jaws of it, but he uses it to like sneak up on shore. First of all, if anyone sees a crocodile, they're not going to look away from it.
No,
You're going to
no.
be more radar focused in on this fucking crocodile. So I think it's absolutely stupid if you're trying to sneak up to a shoreline or whatever. You either want to be underwater completely or be barely visible. You do not want to be a crocodile head because people are going to be like, there's a fucking crocodile right there.
I'm going to say that is your best pick.
Okay.
So you're done now. Why don't
It
you
is.
recap your picks?
My picks were the toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss from Austin Powers, the
How-
exploding bubble
So
gum.
how is that a gadget? According to your like being very stickler about this, how is it? How is the toothbrush, the toothpaste, and
it was
the?
a bad pick. Let him have it.
No, I know. I'm just you're gonna have it. I'm just curious. How is it a spy gadget?
Because it was given to him as a spy by the organization he worked for, the spy organization, and a gadget is as much as you make of it. So he can
Yeah, if he goes to prison, he could carve that into a shiv.
Yeah, you can make anything a gadget if you really put your mind to it.
Just let him have this bad pick.
Go
All right.
ahead.
My final. Oh, I'm sorry. You were still listening.
Yeah,
Go
I had
ahead.
silicone mask from Mission Impossible and the fake crocodile head from
And the bubble
Octopussy.
gum. Yeah.
And the bubble gum
And
from
the
Mission
gum from
Impossible.
Mission-
Yeah.
Okay. I need a ruling on this because technically, Inspector Gadget is a spy gadget. He has gadget in his name. And also, he's terrible. He's bad at everything, and Penny and the dog figure out every mystery.
Yeah, but he has all of his gadgets are all very timely. If he has a, if
He's
he
the
has
guy
a
that does the
bouquet
head
of flowers,
shit, right?
Which is, by the way,
if he needs a bouquet,
that's the worst gadget that he has because he doesn't have anything. So if you look at a helicopter, it has a rear rotor that keeps it stable so it doesn't just spin in a big circle. And he does not have that. He just has a helicopter blade over the top. He would just be spinning around constantly and just barfing.
Brick, how do you feel
that's
about
not
this?
how it worked in the show. No, I just feel like he always has a gadget for whatever he needs. If he needs a bouquet of flowers, boom, in his hat, got a gadget for it. If he needs
he
to
always
iron
fucks
his
it up.
shirt, he's got an iron. He's right there, boom.
Inspector
If there's
Gadget.
a more use, it's just a use. He's just useful.
Mm.
He's bad at things, but he is good. Like he has the tool that is like relevant for the situation all the time.
But I'm not picking the gadgets. I'm picking Inspector Gadget.
That's like you can't pick like the guy from Get Smart.
Well, he's not
that's
a
like
gadget.
spy.
He doesn't have gadget in his name.
He
Yeah, but
feels that
that's-
because gadget's in his name, it technically is a gadget if he was a gadget named Gadget.
But
he is
he's
like
not
a
a
robot.
gadget.
Those things come out of his body.
It's all right. That's a bad pick. Good job, though.
Please.
Go ahead, Brick.
All right, let me recap my list real quick.
Shitty list. Go.
One is the Swedish-made penis enlarger pump, which you must say like that.
So pissed.
I also
Yep.
have the superfluous third nipple, Inspector Gadget, and the stupid thing that Batman uses to summon bats, because that's terrible, and having bats around you is awful. Brick, give me your final pick.
So I feel like the easiest one is to just do Odd Job's hat,
So you
but
you
I
would
don't-
take
I
Random
don't-
Task's shoe and Odd Job.
Odd Job's hat. Both of them are fucking they're like stupid ass spy tool weapons. I am gonna go with it.
Okay, that is a bad
Fuck
draft.
it.
We should have picked a better draft topic because this one's
That-
not
we'll
great.
This one's tough.
But that's okay. They can't all be winners, right?
That's right.
All right. Give me a recap of your list.
We've got Random Task's shoe, Odd Job's hat. We've got chloroform disguised as hemorrhoid wipes, and we also have sharks with freaking lasers attached to their heads.
A non-existent gadget.
I think honestly the
I think they did
the
get it
hemorrhoid wipes
eventually.
might be a good gadget because nobody's going to open that and question it. They're just like if somebody sees that in your bag or on your person, they'll just be like, I'm not going to ask about that.
That was your best gadget pick, Rick. What was your last one? The final one you
He
did?
picked Odd Job's hat.
Odd
he has-
Job's
That's an
hat.
awesome gadget, dude. I would love that fucking hat.
You just go around killing people.
Dude, yes.
Okay.
Like, if you got really good with that hat, people would be like, the guy with the hat, he's fucking unbelievable.
Like Odd Job.
Yes.
All right. Brick, was there anything that got left off your list?
Now only the Swedish made penis enlarger pump
I was trying to
and
do
the
another.
penis enlarger pump warranty and the book. That is my
That
bag,
is
baby.
my Baby.
I was trying to do another Austin Powers one. I was going for fembots at one point, but then I was like, all right,
Those are
titty
kinda dumb.
guns. At the same
Yeah.
time, it's really stupid. Like your aim is terrible.
Wasn't that the point of this?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but just it's an awesome concept though. A fembot.
I had a few on my list that didn't get picked. The Jaws of Jaws, his big metal teeth.
Okay.
We
Why do
had-
Bond villains always have like physical ailments?
Yes,
Every one of them.
pretty much, yeah. And now even Blofeld does because of the last movie. But anyways, what about the Bat credit card that George Clooney carried around? That's pretty stupid. That is some of the worst product placement I've ever seen.
Yeah. I feel like I
Doesn't
really
Mark have a
honed in on-
Batman credit card? I would be surprised if you didn't.
That's a good point. I should have asked that question. Do you have a Batman credit card, Mark?
No. I've been waiting for one to be released because they
You
haven't
just-
done one.
Yeah, he wishes
You just have
he
credit
could have
cards that are
one.
maxed out because of Batman statues.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are his Batman credit cards.
I should
All
have
of his
honed more in on the
statues.
villain fucking weapons that they use.
Too
We
late.
didn't make that clear though. We said spy gadgets, so I was thinking gadgets that are used by spies, not weapons that could be used in a spy movie.
The fastest
different.
way to make this unfun is to start restricting all of our dumb submissions.
Whatever. It's
I
it's
think
done.
What
What's
you
done
got to
is done.
do, what you
No,
got to
but
do
no,
is just go through.
No, I agree with Mark. You got to at least argue like, hey, is this legit?
We
I think
definitely
you gotta
argue about
play
it,
the fence.
but you got to argue about it in the way where you're just like, your pick fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like how Brick had two picks that were basically exactly
You
the
can,
same.
you can do whatever you want, I guess, in these drafts.
Yeah, they're
That
both
we made
bad.
Clear. I have a proposal.
Okay.
So, for listeners, if you follow us on Instagram, you know that we are tracking the wins of these drafts. The first one to get to 5 wins is the overall winner, and I think we decided that the winner gets to choose a shitty movie for both second and third place to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I have a proposal. I think we should be able to have one steal during that time because we overlap our picks a lot. Like, if I really wanted that pick that you had, I could use my one steal and you would have to use another pick.
But why would you get a steal?
We all get one.
Then I'll just steal mine back from you.
Then, okay, then we can't do that. Once a steal is, once something is stolen, it can't be stolen back.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I would rather.
We can think about it. I think it would be fun.
No,
though.
because then I'm doing all the fucking work and you're stealing my good picks.
Listen, I think you're thinking about it like everything's going to be stolen. You get one steal for this whole up to 5 wins. That's a lot of drafts. So
Rick-
you have to use it really wisely.
Brick, I think you're the
So you
tiebreaker
all-
on this.
The steal concept is you get one per session. Five,
No,
all
no.
5
Per,
drafts.
Like round. Whoever, like of the race to 5
Whoever-
wins.
The race to 5 wins.
Which
You get one steal.
So the least amount of drafts is 5. So
Correct.
there's going to be a lot more because Brick has a win. I have a win. Brick has 2 wins.
I have 2 wins.
So I'm saying you can only use 1 steal in that time that we get to
I
5.
get it.
So it's not
I
like
like
we're going to
it.
be using steals each draft.
So let's talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I
think a steal would
I
be
like
fun.
that you're trying to innovate. That's good. I also think that maybe we add something where it's like you watch the movie and you got to order the hottest hot wings in your town.
Okay. Yeah, we can do something like live or so people know that
Yeah, but since
the
there's going to
losers
be
are going through shit.
since there's going to be 2 people that have to watch the movie,
Mhm.
maybe we could schedule it so they watch it at the same time and do like a Patreon live stream.
Watch party.
There you go.
Watch party.
Yeah, I just
Innovation.
I didn't think we were going to be overlapping picks a lot, but we do at least once.
Well, that's
every
the point
time
of the
we do a
draft, though.
Yeah, so I thought it would be a cool little feature. You got to use it really wisely because you're only going to get to use one in,
You only get
let's
one.
say, an average of 8 drafts. But yeah, I think it'd be just a cool addition to what we're doing.
It
We'll
does
think about it.
It adds intrigue, and I don't want you stealing my 3rd nipple, Mark.
I know, but there's some like best duo, Batman and Robin, that like I would obviously steal that, but that would be my 1 steal for the remainder of their drafts. Up till 5.
You're warming
Right.
me up on it.
And I
because
would
it
have
does
stolen-
involve
I
some
would have
extra
stolen this-
strategy.
Yeah.
I would have stolen that Swedish made penis enlarger pump, but by a million.
I can't believe you didn't go with that first. I specifically picked you, Brick, because I didn't think you would pick that. That was 1-1 for me. But, anyways, it's best man time.
Okay.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
All right, gents. I'm going to kick this off because I'm assuming that you're both scrambling to find one right now because I know you and we've been doing 265 episodes
I
together.
don't have one.
Okay.
I don't have one either.
Stop me if you've heard this one before, but a real-life ninja took over a military base that had 26 special ops soldiers that were currently stationed there for training.
The most important question is what was the suit the ninja was wearing? Was it like a legit fucking ninja suit?
An unknown person wearing full ninja garb. All right, let me read you an excerpt from this.
Shit.
This
that's
is
a
on
ninja.
military.com, which you would think if you were kind of pro-military, you probably wouldn't publicize a story like this because it does not make you look good.
Yeah.
But the sergeant who was on staff that night, this is like 2 a.m. So, but these bases are manned like 24 hours. So he's outside just gunning a cig. This fucking ninja walks up from out of nowhere.
Are they on like a boat, like a huge vessel?
This is an air base. So somehow this
On
ninja
the water?
got in.
On
No,
the water?
No, an air base is on land. You're
Damn it.
thinking of an aircraft carrier.
Okay, damn it.
But anyways, this man comes up to this sergeant and he says, "Do you know who I am?"
And then fucking Eddie Guerrero like grabs him with his feet and flips him.
So the soldier replies no to that. And then the ninja goes, "Do you know where my family is?"
Shut up.
I'm reading this verbatim. I will let you read this article when you're done with it. But so the sergeant keeps going like, "I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, dude." Ninja pulls out a sword.
So the guy lives though. He doesn't die.
He lives,
Yeah.
but he's wounded. Like he takes a couple shots to the leg and the knee and one to the arm before he gets up and just books it out of there. And he locks himself
A couple slices to the leg and knee.
Yes. He books it inside, locks himself in, and he's like hunkered down. And at this point, he finds someone else who's working there, and they're both just in this room together. But there's a glass window.
Imagine the conversation there. There's a fucking ninja out there. He's cutting me up. What the fuck?
Who's this fucking guy? Where's his family? Just give him his family so we'll go away. Anyways,
Who is it? Al Qaeda.
There
Worse. It's one fucking ninja.
does Al Qaeda have ninjas now? God damn, that's terrifying. Anyways, this was 1:20 in the morning. There are 911 calls to back up and corroborate all of this. But eventually, 26 special op military members were doing training at this airport, and they
All got wiped out.
They had to no. They all had to like hide in a hangar and lock themselves inside, which does not give me confidence in our military right now.
I could just see it now. There's fucking like a big door, and you just start seeing slices from the inside. coming
Like an
through.
anime,
Yeah.
you just see like the light flash,
Yeah.
ching ching, yeah, and then the door just falls and like splits end over end. I think this is ridiculous. If you're with 26 of your non-military trained friends,
Yeah.
you think you could take on a ninja?
Fuck no.
I would.
Dude, a ninja's a ninja.
Dep-
though.
dep- It really depends on how shadowy it is. If we're like in some sort of forest area, we're done. We're getting picked off one by one, no question about
But
it.
you're in an open
But if
hangar.
we're in like an open hangar, that's still, there's a lot of shifty shit you can do in an open ass hangar. I don't know. I played Hitman, man. It's crazy. I need this to be just some sort of Splinter Cell versus Spies versus Mercs training op.
Have you guys ever seen
Just
the first
need
Three
that to get to
Ninjas?
come back.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember at the end when the grandpa they get kidnapped and they're on that boat and the grandpa scales like the rope that is anchored to the pier?
And he's like just flying.
I was thinking of that scene when you were saying he was smoking a cigarette. I thought he was on like a big vessel and he's just like scaling and he's like whoosh and just like flips him off the fucking side of the boat. That would have been awesome.
So anyways,
Still awesome though.
I don't know who my best man alive here is. It's probably not the ninja because he's being kind of a dick. Although he is just looking for his family, apparently.
Somebody fucking kidnapped.
So
his
he's just
family.
at large. So he's still just at large.
I believe that they found him. The answer.
You can't
Maybe
find a
he's on the
ninja.
maybe he's on the run, dude. Okay. The ninja fled and was arrested elsewhere. They don't release his name. I wonder if he's like
He doesn't have a name.
undercover. That's funny.
A man
Also,
who has
the
no
other part of
name.
this that made it funny for me is that I was picturing Chris Farley from Beverly Hills Ninja being the guy, and he's just like rolling slowly through the hangar and taking on 26 of these dudes.
So there were really like 26 special op soldiers contained, like wouldn't go outside because they were scared of a ninja.
Yes. Isn't that kind of fucked up? And I want to give them a little bit of credit because if you're at training or something, you probably don't have your normal weapons. Like you
Yeah.
probably aren't carrying an M16. Otherwise, they would just gun this fucker down.
You don't get trained to go against a ninja.
Probably better that they didn't just gun him down and that they just were able to arrest the guy.
I mean,
Then it's a bigger story.
he did attack a military member. They
I
were
know, I
fully
agree.
within their rights to shoot this dude.
Right. No, I agree. But it's probably good that
Do you think the
Everyone made
military
it out
will start
alive.
incorporating ninja defense training?
They should. You never know where ninjas
This
are going to pop
this
up.
might have just changed the whole fucking game now.
Man,
Oh my god.
future wars won't be fought on the battlefield. They'll be fought by ninjas in the darkness. All right.
Wow.
Which one of you has a best man alive ready?
You got
I
another
didn't even look it up.
Wow,
I
you
thought
guys
you were
suck.
double best man alive to that ninja. Fuck.
triple best man alive. The ninja, the murderer, crazy guy got arrested.
So you guys are anti-military then, because you're pro-ninja.
No, I'm just a little bit more pro ninja.
Ninjas are pretty dope. I gotta give it
Yeah,
credit.
ninjas are super dope. Military's dope too, but sometimes they're doing what they shouldn't be doing. Like ninjas are always there to either get revenge, make things right, just karate chop and fucking break necks. Ninjas are awesome.
sure
All
they're-
right, I'm just going to click to our movie review now because this is going nowhere.
That was our first ever.
All thanks to your laziness.
Dude, we got to start just because we have drafts now. We should all just start agreeing on one best man, and that would have had it easily.
No, because then I'm going to be the only one who's doing the work on
You
this.
find the good ones. I'll give it to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
because
find
I
good
do the
ones.
work.
Yeah.
Ah, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, Smithers, you're the best at the best man stuff. You should just keep
Just
doing
keep
that
finding
stuff.
fucking ninjas out there.
I hate you guys. Let's set this up. All right, you heard that fart. That means it's time for our movie review. This is a long time coming, boys. No Time to Die.
Did we just
What?
argue throughout that entire drop?
You did.
You did. Okay.
No, you were talking. I told you to shut up when we stopped talking.
It's all
because the
right.
drops.
Everyone has heard that drop.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
No Time to Die. The last Daniel Craig installment of the James Bond series. Currently at 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% from fans. What the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, I'm making sure it sounds okay.
Why would it have changed?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Anyways, what a banger this fucking movie was. The 25th James Bond. I don't think they could have ended this a better way. I will say off the jump, this is probably my favorite Bond movie ever.
Brick, I want to hear why you didn't like this because when I think of Brick, I think of the lore, the callbacks, things like that, and this was just pounding references to James Bond movies in your skull the whole time, which is great. This is the way they should have done this movie.
I
and
agree.
they did it.
Brick, we will get back to you on that in a minute. Let me just finish my setup here. I'm sorry I kind of derailed that. This is directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, who did the first season of True Detective, which is still one of the best seasons of television ever. He also brought us the first It with Pennywise the Clown.
Great movie again.
This was originally meant to debut in November of 2019. So almost 2 years later, here we are. So it was pushed due to production delays into April. And then, of course, everything shut down. And here we are. It's had about a dozen release dates since then, but we got it eventually. And I got to say, it was worth the wait. The reported budget on this was $300 million. And I think they used it really well, especially with the set pieces, the layouts, the Italy scenes. I thought this was great. A lot of remote destinations. This is the follow-up to Spectre, which was the last James Bond movie, which I always have trouble remembering. They all kind of run together for me. This one might stand out, but we'll see. So we open on a young Madeline Swain in the middle of Norway, and Rami Malek comes and kills her mom. And you come to find out that she's from this family of spies. She falls in love with James Bond because who wouldn't? Even though Daniel Craig is not the most attractive man on the planet.
Yeah, his head. I mean,
he looks like a potato.
He's still good looking though. It's his eyes and his fucking body.
He's got these ears though that are just.
I know. Yeah, he's got a really round
Very-
head with kind of weird ears.
Chimpanzee-esque, like head.
Okay.
Dude, I don't think he looks that.
Like his
bad.
ears kind of pop out. I don't know. I think he looks good. I still think he looks good.
Okay.
But like a chimp sometimes.
A little bit. So this is.
Some
I
angles.
mentioned this was the follow-up to Spectre. So you know that Blofeld, who is James Bond's biggest rival, is captured. He's in this weird jail cell somewhere in England. But James Bond thinks that Madeline tipped off Spectre to where he would be. And I got to say, Cary Fukunaga, you're a little too attached to the whole blow James Bond thing up and then do the ringing in his ears, because that happened about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, his ears would have been completely shot if this was real life.
The tinnitus he would get, just constant ringing. So they depart, go their separate ways, even though James was in love and Madeline was in love anyways. And then they introduce the virus, which there's always a virus or a super weapon or something. This is
Mission Impossible 3 did it. Yeah.
I mean, every Bond movie ever is the same thing. It's a nuke or a virus. And this one is extra fucked up because it syncs with your DNA. So you can make specific targets. But that also leaves it open to giant groups of people. Which, I got to ask, was this a racist thing?
They
Because
made
that
threat.
Russian dude
Yeah, there
was threatening.
There were a couple threats. Yeah, that there was a racist threat from one of the scientists at one point. But yeah, I mean, they did go to race at one point, but they also went to like specific families or whatever. Like this nanobot virus could be changed to target a bloodline, target a race. You find out all this other stuff. But yeah, they did do that.
So we'll get into spoilers later. I don't think this is really a spoiler, but Rami Malek's character never talks about who he's targeting. Is he just going to kill everybody?
I don't know. They don't make that clear. That was the one small issue I had with this. I wanted more of him and more of kind of what his whole deal is. You get it a little bit. His family grew up on this fucking plant farm where they just made poison and had poisonous plants.
It's a weird hobby.
Yeah.
But let me wrap up this recap. So obviously there's a lot of espionage, a lot of back and forth, backstabbing and two timing and triple timing and quadruple timing and everything else. So this was your standard Bond movie, but I just think that it was a little bit more emotional than the others. I will say, I need to stop Googling the runtime of movies before you go into it, because seeing a runtime of 165 minutes is like, fuck, this is going to be a slog. But this one wasn't.
Literally 2 hours and 50 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes. That last, at the 2 hour mark, I just got like antsy, and I was like, couldn't enjoy the last part of the action scenes. But I felt like the action scenes were nothing spectacular. I mean, they had some cool scenes where they go, like they're driving, have a car chase through like the mountains and like through rivers and shit, which was cool. He doesn't have his supercar with him either. Like the last scene where they're in like that machine, like manufacturing plant that's with all the steam pipes and smoke around it. It was like, okay, it's kind of just dark and can't really see much what's going on. So it just kind of felt like it was fine. I felt it was like, oh yeah, this is like your just standard James Bond. It wasn't bad movie, but I just think that the 2 hour and 45 minute runtime just kind of it was daunting.
It
It's
was a
like,
bit
oh shit,
much.
that's such a long thing.
I
It's
gotta
such a
stop
long
looking at
thing.
that before I go see a movie.
I
Same, that was a nightmare.
I vehemently
Post-apocalyptic. Mark vehemently.
disagree with shout out Smithers word right there. With about the action scenes, I thought
was
the
that
first
word?
fucking 20 minutes of this were just nonstop. I thought there were some of the better action scenes, especially in Italy. The chase scenes,
Riding
Yeah.
a dirt bike up a mountain.
there's so many
building.
so many good action scenes. The one in the forest was awesome, I thought. Yeah, sorry, Brick. I disagree on that.
It does have your typical
They were fine.
James Bond. He's gonna survive everything.
Mhm.
He can get shot. Like, it's not a Bond movie unless he gets shot like 6 times and just walks it off.
Yeah.
So there's that. But that's, you come into this knowing what you're going to get. This isn't an unestablished franchise. You know exactly what a Bond movie is going to give you. I want to talk a little bit about some of the performances in this. For somebody who hates doing James Bond movies, Daniel Craig's pretty fucking good at it. And I really don't understand, how do they make him look like such a badass in every outfit they put him in? They put him in a fucking tactical sweater for the climax of this movie and gloves. I've never seen anybody wearing gloves look like such a badass.
I gotta buy more Henleys. He looks so good in Henleys all the time. Like the little 4-button shirts.
I think that
Yeah, those are dope.
I think that they never show the back of him because all of his shirts are just like tied together with safety pins and shit to make them as tight as humanly possible. Otherwise, they're just
perfectly
sewing
snug.
them directly onto him and making them form-fitting.
Mhm.
But that sweater he wore at the end, I was like, why do you look so cool? If I put that on, like, I'm decently built. I'm not like a movie star or some shit, but I would look like a fucking
He
idiot.
just looks so stupid.
I
in
would
that.
look like a moron if I put that outfit on. I don't understand how he pulls it off every time, but I digress.
You do get every outfit though for Bond in this, and then they throw in a couple ones that you're like, I can never pull that off. You get the whole
The
tuxedo.
tuxedo, the speed, the super dude. They did some real bulge close-ups on
Yeah.
this too. When he's in that boat, I was just like, damn, there's his balls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with that. I can't process it, but there they are. Let's talk about Remy Malek. Good, not enough of him. Could have done without Christoph Waltz in this at all. I feel like if you remove him altogether as Blofeld, you get more Rami Malek. I get what they did with the
Right.
storytelling. It didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it was delayed 2 years also didn't let me. Didn't connect with a lot of the people. Like I was like, I know he's from this series. Like you said earlier, all the Bond movies kind of blended together. Once you kind of see them, like Casino Royale, Spectre, all those others, they kind of blend together. So I knew these characters were from the past, but I didn't connect exactly where they were from. So the side stories just didn't do it for me. And the love story, I didn't really give a shit about his love story either.
That's fine.
I just didn't connect with it. And also 007, this whole 007 replacement, I didn't give a shit about that character either.
I liked her.
I thought
So
she was
let's
fine.
back up a little bit.
I
You're talking about Leah
yeah.
Seydoux. I believe that's how you say her name. I thought she was pretty good. She's
Let me ask you this: would you want the next James Bond 007 movie to be starring her?
no.
No.
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't think
Well,
that.
I don't think that's
Okay.
what they really led to here. Plus, like, James Bond has a lifetime of training. She just has shot a gun a few times. Although she is a crack shot, I'll give her that. But you were also talking about Lashana Lynch, who plays Nomi, the new 00 agent. The one thing I didn't care about with that was that she was trying to get Bond to argue with her about the 007 designation. I don't give a fuck about that.
Mhm.
And he clearly didn't either. And they didn't even
Yeah.
try to. They didn't even attempt to make it seem like he gave a fuck.
Yeah, he's too cool for school. There's bigger, better fish to fry. It was just like I didn't need that sidekick bullshit that they kind of did. I was like, I'm fine with not having this character in here at all.
I get what you're saying, and in terms of the Madeline character, Anna de Armas blew her away. I would have much rather had this
By
movie.
a million.
Oh my god, that scene in Cuba was fucking awesome. All of it.
Well, that is like a typical James Bond.
Yeah.
In the tuxedo, shaken not stirred. in a huge gala party event where he's just sick. You're just like, wow, I want to be that guy with that girl.
And
or
Adonis
vice versa.
is somehow in a gravity-defying dress in 6-inch heels and beating the fuck out of people and shooting them after a couple weeks of training, according to her.
I thought
Yeah.
Madeline was. I thought it brought more to the movie because it made the end make a lot more sense. When are we going to get into spoilers eventually?
Soon.
I'll wait.
Yes.
But I thought she did play a role being in this one, and I didn't mind her as much as you did, Brick.
Mark, your
Yeah,
favorite
no,
guy.
it's fine because it raised the stakes to a certain degree. I get where they wanted to go with the plot, but like, I don't know, drop one of those storylines and make it 2 hours.
That's
that was
actually
my-
a good point. But you can't drop the Cuba scene. That was too dope.
That was too sick. No, that's not that like didn't even do anything to this like the story. I feel it was just like, oh, Ana de Armas, and she's there and doing like that was a sweet little connection that they had, and they just like, that's it. That was all.
Yeah, you can't.
That was
drop,
a way better vibe
can't-
and connection that I felt like he had with that character, with those characters.
You can't drop Madeline though, because she's essential to the origins of. Well, not the origins of Remy Malek's villain character, but
Kinda. I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
and then she's extremely essential to why people would get so worked up about the ending and why the ending did so well
Yeah.
and would resonate with fans.
Yeah.
It was a perfect ending.
I agree. Let's flip through the rest of this cast, and then we can move on a little bit. You had Jeffrey Wright, who's always great. Mark, your favorite guy, Billy Magnuson.
Yeah.
You fucking love that guy.
It's great that they didn't make him. How do I not want to spoil this? He is Billy Magnuson. Like, he's smiley, looks like a goof the whole time. But is he a goof? We'll get to that. He didn't shy
Yeah.
away from what he's good at, like what character he's good at playing.
I thought he
Which
was
I liked.
good for the levity. There
Yeah.
were decent jokes in this,
Mm-hmm.
and Daniel Craig can kind of deliver. Like, he has timing.
Yeah.
He can like when he looks at Billy Madison, he just go or Billy Magnuson, and just goes, he smiles too much.
I pee my pants. Oh, the cookies. Never mind.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes, blah 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 blah. All right, Mark, just give me your high level summary, rate it, then we'll get into spoilers.
I thought this was a perfect way to end the Daniel Craig saga of 007. Also, for people that are hesitant to go back in theaters, I get it. The whole COVID thing, being safe, makes sense. But if you're just the person that's like, I just want to watch the movie at home by myself, like I was just hoping theaters would fail miserably and everything would be available for me to stream. This is why theaters aren't going anywhere, because I think this is the perfect movie to see on the big screen, and it needs to be watched on the big screen. So if you're fine with going to the theater from a health standpoint, I would highly recommend going to see this in the theaters. And this is just everything that James Bond needs to be. Everything from the first couple movies up until this last movie, they just have so many callbacks that are perfectly placed throughout. And there are a lot of great characters. Wish I would have got more Rami Malek as the villain. He has the perfect villain face. And I would even go for like a spin-off to maybe even they'll just do a whole series of him being different villains.
I'd watch that.
Where it's just a completely different person, but I would absolutely watch that.
Let's just make him a villain and make his name be Villain Face,
Yeah.
because that's what he's got.
Yep. This is up there for my favorite movie of 2021, and I think it is one of the better endings to a franchise of like
just
a
call it,
specific actor
yeah,
playing a role.
like a story arc.
Yes.
And these were all super interconnected. So,
Mhm.
Brick, or I'm guessing you're a see it then.
See it, yes.
All right, Brick, go ahead.
What was a better ending to a character series? Wolverine or No Time to Die?
That was pretty damn good. I'll have to think about that.
And Logan?
Yeah,
I think Logan was probably better.
Logan. But they're
yeah, Logan was probably better.
Yeah.
I also have a lot more attachment to that character than I do to James Bond. though.
True. Right. And I think that's the one problem with this was it literally, if it came out in 2019, I think I would have loved it a lot more. Or if it came out in 2020, I would have liked it a lot more. But I feel like if you want to really like this, you should watch all the at least watch a preview of what the hell happened in Casino Royale
Watch Spectre.
and all the other movies.
Mhm.
So
That works
and
too.
It's a valid point because Spectre came out 6 years ago. That's
Exactly.
A long
It's just
fucking time between
there's
movies.
so much. Yeah, it's way too much time. I mean, there was good action. I just wanted more of some characters, less of other characters. Make the story a little more concise. Save it.
Okay. I kind of ruined mine already and told you that I think this is my favorite Bond movie ever. Daniel Craig isn't probably my favorite Bond, but I also think your favorite Bond is probably whichever Bond you grew up with.
Mhm.
Pierce
True.
Brosnan was nothing special, but I just have an attachment to him because I grew up in GoldenEye, obviously, and
Video game.
yeah. So it's hard to get off that, but I do
Iconic.
think that for somebody who hated playing James Bond, Daniel Craig pulled it off pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
So smooth, so suave. He still had it. He's
I
He's good.
liked that
He was good.
they didn't go. They went unconventional with the cars, and I know that you guys don't care, but just let me
Right.
talk. The DB9 in the beginning is iconic,
Mhm.
but they also had like early '90s Maseratis. They had a late '80s Aston Martin in there that just sounds fucking mean, even though they were huge pieces of shit and you could never keep them running. I really enjoyed that. The minigun, and this isn't a spoiler because it was in the trailers, but the minigun that flops down out of the headlights in that old DB9, that was fucking sick.
Yeah. That was a great scene.
That was an incredible
Mo-
butt clenching scene too, because they're just both sitting in that car getting fired at,
Yeah.
and she's screaming at him. But yeah,
more bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say more bad movie jobs. James Bond's mechanic.
Oof.
Those cars are always fucked up. Like, all right, what did you do to this beautiful car? Now I gotta all these bullet holes. Gotta repair all this shit.
That's always the running joke though between him and Q is that Q gives him these cool gadgets and then he fucking ruins them.
What is unconventional about the cars they're using though? Or is it because they just use older models and they're
Yes.
not like the newest of new like
Exactly. So usually,
technology?
They
Yeah.
keep it.
usually
they
it
keep
goes hand in hand with some
futuristic.
kind of ad campaign for like
Mhm.
what you remember when they switched to BMWs for a little while?
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid, and they gave him that stupid, bad-looking Z3.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, that car was horrible. You got to have classic Aston Martins. He's British, Aston Martin British. Got to
Yeah.
have him. Anyways, I can't say enough
Jaguar.
about this movie. I thought it was great. The runtime didn't even bother me. I just held my pee and
Yep.
just sat through it, and I didn't at all feel like it went too long. I was only checking my phone because there was football on. So, with that said, I got to say, see it. This is probably like my third or fourth favorite movie of the year. Pig was better. Shang-Chi was better. Shang-Chi was better. But it's still up there. This was really well done. It was. I got to say, it was worth the wait. I don't know who the next James Bond's going to be. They're going to have big shoes to fill. Idris Elba came out like this week or last week and said
Yeah.
it's not going to be him, which sucks. But there are plenty of British actors out there. I'm sure they'll go weird.
He'd
with
be
it.
a great. He'd be a great James Bond.
All right, I'm going to throw up a spoiler warning on the screen. So spoilers from here on out for No Time to Die. Mark, what do you got to say?
I did really like this Madeline character because I was questioning a lot of things throughout the whole story. I thought she was used really well to move the plot along and get you thinking like, okay, what is her secret? I thought she actually had sex with fucking Blofeld for a minute. I'm like, wait, maybe that's his kid, and maybe that's the huge reveal. But because you start thinking like when she initially said when Daniel Craig sees her 4-year-old child or 5-year-old daughter, she's like, well, it's not yours, even with the blue eyes. So
Which
then
is
I'm
a
like,
shitty move.
and then I'm like, wait, whose is it then?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, what? We haven't figured out what the big reveal is. So maybe it's got to be like, who is the father of this child? It's something really fucked up. But it ends up being his kid, and that also ends the. It has a lot more meaning when they wrap up the ending when James Bond dies. You have a lot more because he actually is finally like he says he's in love with this person and he can't be with her and his daughter, and it just has a lot more meaning to this ending and it gets a lot more emotional, or it was a lot more emotional to me because of that.
And because James Bond has had those flings throughout all the movies, to finally have somebody that he actually cares about
Mhm.
and has a child for the first time, and he's knowing about it, saving their life,
Or I
But what
thought
a-
Madeline was the daughter of Blofeld. I was in between those, but
Like where she
It's
wasn't
neither
the
of those.
actual mom.
no. Well, the daughter was actually James Bond, but I thought the big reveal was that Blofeld's daughter was Madeline. Where James Bond would be like, "Oh my God, I've
You're
been
thinking
with
too much.
the daughter of Blofeld." Yeah,
You're way overthinking these because you looked at me and one of the downfalls of this movie is that you have to know so much about James Bond and what's happened.
You have to go back to the.
You have to know who
movies.
Blofeld is because you asked me in the beginning when he goes to that grave,
Yeah.
the mausoleum that blows up. It's like, who the fuck is that? And you have to think all the way back to Casino Royale
Mhm.
and the girl that he was working with
Right.
then, who he didn't want to work with, who then ended up dying. But yeah, there's a lot you got to tie together here, and we're talking about almost 20 years of movies,
Mhm.
so not an easy task.
And the 6-year gap between the last one. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
the fuck.
I still, even though knowing everything that happened, I was still 100% sure that James Bond was going to survive.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no fucking way they're going to kill this dude. He lives through everything. Or I was thinking they were going to do like a Dark Knight Rises type ending where they just do a cutaway at the end and he's like, it's
At a tea
say
cafe, yeah.
M is the one who's like at a place in Paris sitting outside in a
Mhm.
cafe and he looks around and he's like, there's James Bond with Madeline.
Mhm.
But I after seeing it, I agree with the fact that you had to do it.
You had to, because with the
You
Dark
had
Knight,
to.
the main difference is he could be with Anne Hathaway. He could be with Catwoman,
Yeah.
with Selena Kyle. James Bond could not be with the woman he loved or his child.
Yeah.
You had to.
Brick, how'd you feel about the ending?
Yeah, no, I felt that's what they needed to do. They needed to get it done. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, great point. The showdown between him and Rami Malek was very dumb.
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick.
Yeah, that was the saving grace, is that it was a minute and a half,
Mhm.
and they have the dialogue back and forth, and we're not so
But that's the
different,
problem.
you and me. It's super cliche, and I didn't care. Like, it's still fine. It's not enough to bring me off the movie. James Bond does the selfless thing and saves the world, and the whole having to go back to reopen the blast doors and shit. It was really well done and really well tied together at the end.
Yeah, I wish they would have utilized Rami Malek's creepy ass mask a little bit more. Like when it gets
Mhm.
blown up and like half of it, he never puts it back on. I'm like waiting for him to put this thing back on.
It just reminded me of Happy Death Day and the baby mask.
Really?
I didn't like it.
I don't know. I thought it looked kind of cool. But yeah, his death was. With the beginning scene where he saves Madeline and shoots like 8 bullets around her, I'm like, he's got a fucking shot. So that made sense at the end where he was able to hit Bond. Like Bond hadn't been shot the whole time.
Yeah.
But it made sense to me, like, okay, this guy was able to shoot him. They showed how good of a shot he was at the beginning of the movie. Makes sense. But I thought they were going to have a better face-off than that. It really wasn't anything too special.
Yeah, speaking of bad jobs, by the way, the name tagless goons were aplenty here.
Mhm.
And
So many.
the other 00 agent, I'm sorry, I'm blanking, Nomi, I
Mhm.
think was her name, she kills a lot of fucking dudes.
Yep.
And she does not hold back. She is just blasting motherfuckers. And I think that, honestly, if they pushed her and were like, if she's in future movies, I don't think she could be the focus of a Bond movie, but I liked her enough that I could see her working as a spy with that. Like, in the older James Bond movies, he had spies that he worked with regularly. So I think I could see something with her having that role in the future.
Yeah. Nomi was a great ad, though, in my opinion, because of just the kind of back and forth bickering they had. It brought more levity to from a Daniel Craig standpoint, because he's James Bond. He doesn't always have to be funny. But just his interactions with her, knowing that she's another 007 and kind of
Him just not giving a
him
shit.
letting her know he was the first. I enjoyed that aspect to this movie.
The culmination of her, Nomi, jumping in while they're like planning out this mission,
Mhm.
and she talks to him, and she's like, "Permission to re-give the designation." I don't care.
Yeah.
That was stupid. But it's okay.
Exactly.
There were other things that made up
That's-
for it. For example, the Hans Zimmer score,
It was
because it
great.
was really fucking well done.
Yeah.
So I typically don't notice the score of something unless it's either really bad or really good, and this was really good.
Mhm.
And that's not a surprise from Hans Zimmer. He'll probably win an Oscar for this.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we got to say about this before we wrap up?
The eyeball dude's death was pretty great. There's always something going on with an eye or a face. That's
The
just
first
James
time-
Bond in general.
Oh my god, the first time he shows up in the movie, you looked at me and I looked
Crazy
at you. I'm
eyes.
like, what is with this fucking googly eye dude?
Yeah.
But they did pay it off. That was
Mhm.
kind of cool. The scene in Cuba where Mr. Scientist guy like flipped the DNA and killed everybody around him and knocked out all of Spectre all at once. That was pretty fucking cool.
That was cool. That had me confused because I'm like, wait, isn't the eyeball guy a member of Spectre and he didn't die? That maybe.
Well, because it does come up later that he's actually working for Lucifer,
Yeah.
who is Rami Malek.
Yep.
By the way, not a
Okay.
very creative
Yeah,
name. You're just
that
trying to
makes
make him sound like he's Satan.
Yep.
But yeah, I like that, and he could have made that transition to being that double agent prior to
Mhm.
that, and maybe I don't fucking know.
What did you guys think of the scientist?
He was fine.
Forgettable. I mean,
It doesn't make sense to me though.
I liked him.
You just like him because he had a thick Russian accent.
he
and
was
kinda
funny.
funny.
He was
Yeah,
funny in his
he's
first
probably
couple scenes.
He was kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny in his first couple scenes.
Him
I'll
not
give it to
shutting up and getting the butt of a gun to his nose was pretty funny.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
can you explain to me why an EMP wouldn't work on nanobots?
I don't know.
Because in order to believe this, I think it would have been better if it was a real virus.
Yeah.
Because then you can't really explain away something like that. But part of the, I guess, thematic plot of this is that you get this on you, you cannot get it off. So if you ever touch the descendant of somebody for some reason who is even remotely related to, Ernst Blofeld, they're just going to die on the spot.
Doesn't EMP just disrupt a technological device? I'm thinking of Metal Gear Solid. The
Yeah.
most useless thing in your bag was the EMP at some points where you needed to like disrupt a security camera or something.
So aren't they just little electronic devices?
I know, but wouldn't they just go back to working normally? I don't know.
I don't know.
Do
Maybe
you actually destroy them?
wake up he's got a watch with an EMP in it. Just
Yeah.
wake up every morning, hit the EMP, and you're good to go.
I don't know. I would be a little skeptical about using an EMP with something that's in my bloodstream, just like how it would react.
Yeah, whatever.
Test-
I drink Busch
testing
Lights
that
every
theory
weekend. I'm
would
sure
be
it's
kinda
no
shitty,
more
too.
harmful than that.
What'd you say, Brick?
Testing that theory would be kind of brutal too. All right, well, I'm going to try the EMP and now let's give a little hug. Up, you're dead. Okay, I guess that didn't
mean,
work. Sick.
If your other option though is just to never see the woman and child that you love for the rest of your life, I think you probably end up going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought. All right, let's wrap this up.
Who knows?
Thanks for tuning in to episode 266, everybody. We will be coming to you live next week from Wizard World. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please do. It's in Rosemont at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. This is Wizard World Chicago, the weekend of October 15th, 2021, just in case you're listening to this later.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, the movie is Halloween Kills, or is it Dune? When is Dune? No, Dune's the 22nd. So I think next week is Halloween Kills, which would be good for a spooky month.
Yeah. I wanted it to be a movie where we could kind of joke around about it, and this is the perfect
100%.
movie to do that.
And you won't be, obviously, if we're doing a live show, we'll go see the movie. We won't be able to spoil it or anything, but we'll still be able to talk about, somebody who got their fucking face cut off.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about this. And I'm honestly, man, I'm kind of looking forward to this
October.
movie.
Yep. Wizard
Ooh,
World should
The
be a lot of
Last
fun, though.
Duel comes out too.
What does?
Oh, The Last Duel.
The Last Duel.
That looks
Ben
pretty good.
Affleck, Matt Damon, Adam Driver, Ridley Scott.
That has potential to be kind of fart sniffy, though. With a
It does,
Ridley
but it
Scott
also-
medieval movie. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
really want to see that.
I mean, I do want to see it, but I probably wouldn't pick it over Dune or Halloween Kills.
Affleck looks like Theo.
It's
Von.
Halloween Kills is going to be the next.
Can't do it.
It's Halloween Kills or The Last Duel, and then Dune and Jackass for the following week.
Oh, fuck yes. Can't wait for Jackass.
Jackass
All
is
right.
gonna be great.
Can't wait for Jackass.
Dune's actually getting really good reviews, too. And it's not just from super Dune nerds.
It's Dennis Villanueva, though. I'm not surprised.
Denis Villeneuve.
Dennis Villanueva. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, I fuck that up a lot anyways. Find us on social media at the Chumpcast on all platforms. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. We're trying to get back into the swing of things with our D&D streams. It's just been kind of hectic lately, and that probably won't calm down anytime soon.
Yeah.
But until next time.
Chumps out, motherfuckers. Peace.
Ciao, beta. Mahalo. Chuck going to draft for me?